Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we are counting down our picks for the top 10 video games of 2023 so far.
Yeah, you got it.
For this list, we'll be looking over the video games to come out so far this year that have blown our socks off with their stories, gameplay, unique direction, and just how dang fun they are to boot up and play. Did any of these make your list? Do you think anything in the latter half of 2023 could come in and take the crown for the year's best? Let us know in the comments.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at WatchMojo.com/play.
Number 10. Dredge. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. While on the surface, this indie game presents itself as a well-crafted, borderline zen fishing simulator, where players will go about catching their quarry, upgrading their boat, and raking in their earnings in an all-too-satisfying cycle. There's just one thing. The ocean also happens to be host to all kinds of eldritch monsters who, if you aren't careful, will drag you under. While more atmospheric than an outright exercise in horror, it's still effective and will have you questioning just how many close calls with Cthulhu it takes before a person should really consider a career change. Number 9. Diablo 4.
Oh, I see. Yes, clever magpie. Trying to lead me away so you can take all this for yourself.
Are there a few unwanted microtransactions, issues with the endgame, and other Activision Blizzard nonsense we wish weren't here? For sure, but holy mama Lilith if this isn't some of the best content we've experienced since Diablo 2. The variety of the character classes, crazy amount of offensive abilities, vastness of the open world, and a pretty tight story campaign all wrapped together felt like the perfect apology gift off the back of the nightmare that was Diablo Immortal. It's a great start, and we can't wait to see just how much this game can shine going forward. Number 8. Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Come and get me.
While it is a damn shame about this game's graphical fidelity, or lack thereof upon release, we can safely say this sequel took everything we adored about Fallen Order and drastically amped up just about every aspect. The numerous lightsaber stances allow for new ways to approach combat, Kobo made for one of the most exciting hub worlds we've explored in modern gaming, and most importantly of all, we got to see Cal Kestis with a handlebar mustache. Though, in all seriousness, watching the once hopeful Padawan be pushed to the brink and potentially seduced by the dark side was truly gripping. And after that finale, every Star Wars fan is asking the same question. When is Rick the Door Technician getting his own game? Number 7. Hogwarts Legacy.
Vote number.
Vote 12. Momentous day.
There's not been a game to date that's captured the magic and wonder of Harry Potter more so than Hogwarts Legacy. And sure, the bar may not exactly have been high, but nobody was expecting just how enchanting the final product would be.
Reading can be as magical as any spell. Why can't students see that?
As a new student at the titular school for wizards and witches, players get to revel in the thrill of exploring iconic locations from the source material, dueling it out with spells, interacting with a surprisingly well-rounded cast of supporting allies, and most importantly of all, unleashing the 3 forbidden curses on just about everyone. The potential for the IP going forward with such a grand foundation now in place is honestly staggering. Number 6. Hi-Fi Rush.
Thanks for helping my cat. Need a hand?
Oh, that's convenient. Looking to get out of here!
Well, that might be something I can handle if you...
Hey! Yelling like this is awkward! Can you speed this up?
This thing came out of nowhere, and yet from the moment it was shadow launched, it charmed and impressed basically everyone who played it.
Introducing the head of production, Rico!
Oh no.
With combat that combined the easy-to-learn and hard-to-master mechanics of rhythm games, along with hack-and-slash elements, a banging soundtrack, some truly creative boss battles, and a visual palette that was just a delight to get lost in, Chai's wayward journey from rock and roll loser all the way to the face of rebellion was the underdog story we didn't know we needed. Did we mention how much the songs slap? Number 5. Final Fantasy XVI.
And look who's here to greet the bastard.
Step aside, Cloud. Yoshi P is here to show you how it's done. Delivering wholeheartedly on the Final Fantasy experience they had promised, with a medieval twist and a splash of DMC-inspired swordsmanship for good measure, this latest installment is both a frantic fest of fantastical fights steeped in rich lore, whilst also serving as one of the most approachable entries in the franchise to date.
Father, take Joshua and get to safety.
No, I'm not going without you. You're supposed to be my shield, remember?
Weaving through enemies with Clive's slick sword skills before everything unravels into the spectacle that is the battles between the kaiju-sized icons is a gameplay loop we won't be getting tired of anytime soon. Number 4. Street Fighter VI. After the mediocre reception of the fifth mainline game, Capcom really had to knock this one out of the park if it had any hope of getting back on its pedestal as the king of fighting games. Needless to say, they Shiryukened it out of the park. This is an exceptional title across the board, to the extent that even non-fighting game fans are bound to have a blast playing it. The overdrive mechanic? A brilliant overhaul that can turn the tide of any fight. The roster? Small, yet dense, filled with some golden oldies and newcomers that have already got the internet's tongue wagging. Even the open world add-on is a neat feature for those who want to live out their fantasy of getting kicked around by Cammy. Number 3. Dead Space. This year will go down as a new golden age for remakes and remasters, and the one that kicked it off was this exceptional retelling of one of sci-fi horror's greatest outings. Isaac Clarke's descent into the necromorph-infested Ishimura has been lovingly recreated in all its gruesome glory, whilst improving other previous gameplay elements to boot. Isaac's got way more personality thanks to some additional voice acting, flying in zero gravity is now seamless, they completely replaced that awful turret section for another horrifying boss fight, we've even got side missions and even alternative endings for the committed completionists out there. We've never been more eager to dive back into a walking nightmare. Number 2. Resident Evil 4. They did it. The mad bastards over at Capcom actually did it. They took one of the most revolutionary games of all time and brought it into today's gaming landscape without ruining what made the original so special. Leon's mission to rescue the president's daughter, whilst shooting through an endless swarm of infected along the way, has never looked or played better. The gunplay and newly implemented parry system feel amazing to control. The enemy variety and design will constantly have you on your toes. The roundhouse kicks, the merchant's accent, Leon's hair, the infinite rocket launcher, there is so much to love here it's almost nonsensical. Where the franchise goes from here is a mystery, but there's no denying this is a new high point. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And here comes Nintendo to show the world how a sequel is done and blow us away in the process. The hype and expectation for the follow-up to Breath of the Wild could not be more monumental, and yet somehow they pulled it off. Hyrule is just as massive as before, filled to the brim with enemies and dungeons and new obstacles for Link to overcome. Only now, there's also the Sky Islands and the depths to explore. There is so much to do here. And that's not even touching upon the freedom this game gives players when it comes to constructing giant weapons, vehicles, phallic imagery, and the ritualistic slaughter of Koroks. What a game. In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.